Now let's look at an example here, and we're gonna use Johnny. We're gonna use Johnny Boy as an example. Let's say Johnny Boy has $10,000, but Johnny doesn't know any better. Johnny's gonna spend this $10,000 on clubs, yachts, maybe even some pair of shoes. He ultimately made $0. But what if Johnny Boy wants to invest in a business instead? But because he doesn't know any better, doesn't know the right way to approach it. Let's get a couple examples to see what Johnny can do to maximize his results. Example number 1, Johnny Boy puts $10,000 into a business. But because he doesn't know any better, he uses all of his cash to invest into this business. Ultimately, if he fails, then he lost this $10,000 investment. And if he makes money, then he's limited because of capital. But now let's say somebody who's educated, and let's say me, for example. If I had the same $10,000 here, what would I do to be able to make money faster, cheaper, and more efficiently? I would take this $10,000 in cash. I would ask for a credit of $10,000. By asking for a credit of $10,000, ultimately what I did is just I converted my cash into a form of credit. Why did I do that? The banks are willing to lend you money, but they are willing to lend you money under certain conditions. The conditions meaning that you have to pay them back. Johnny Boy here put this $10,000 because Johnny Boy doesn't want to owe anyone money. That's perfectly fine. But Johnny Boy doesn't know any better. What I know is that if I get a line of credit and I pay back this balance, the banks are willing to lend me even more money. So if I want to borrow more money, I can borrow more money to invest into my businesses. Now, or maybe I can even buy a house, or maybe buy a car, or maybe even buy a business, an existing business. So what I would do here to start building this relationship with the bank is I'd put this $10,000 in a line of credit and invest into the same business Johnny Boy is doing. So if I fail, I use this $10,000 to pay back my downs. Now I get a second chance at redemption because they will reach out to me and say, hey, do you want to borrow more money? So essentially, I don't need to spend another 3 months to save another $10,000. I got it directly from the bank. So with my example and Johnny's example, I was able to get 2 tries in 1 to leverage the bank to get another opportunity in the event that I failed. But then let's say in a perfect world, both Johnny and I were successful in the business that we decided to go into. We both put $10,000, we made $15,000. Out of the $15,000, $10,000 went to my debt, so I kept $5,000, and Johnny kept $10,000, right? That's profit because of expenses. So Johnny Boy left with $10,000 profit, I left with $5,000 profit, but I have good credit because I paid for the bank. Johnny Boy has no credit. We are both in a game where we are both making the same amount of money, but who has the bigger leverage? In this case, Johnny is limited because of capital. There's gonna be a point that because he only has $10,000 to spend because he's going purely cash, he's gonna hit a plateau, which doesn't allow him to scale past $10, maybe $20,000 a month. But for me, the bank is always going to allow me to borrow more money because I previously paid them the $10,000 balance. So if I ask the bank, hey Bank America, can I get an additional $20,000? Bank of America might say, yeah, you know what, Chris? You know what, Rios? We're gonna let you borrow the $20,000 because you already paid us back. And now I have $30,000 to play with instead of Johnny. So on these 2 examples, who is going to grow faster? You should be saying Rios. Rios was 100% going to be growing faster because we are both having an existing business model that already works, but I just have more capital to play with. So instead of me being like Johnny and working another 3 to 6, maybe 12 months to save another $10,000, I was able to get the same $10,000 from the bank essentially in as little as 24 hours or less. What a lot of people do wrong is they take the $10,000 that they get from the bank and they buy Jordans, they go to the club, they go to yachts, and they buy things that make them $0. But what if you changed the game, you got credit from the banks, you leveraged it to make money, you paid back your balance, and you were able to build credit infinitely. Let's say your credit score went from 600 to 620 to 640 to 700, 750 to 800. How much more opportunities will knock down through your door? How many of you own a house? How many of you own a business? How many of you even own a car? Most of you should be saying, yes, you own many of these things, but if you don't, ask yourself why. Was it a credit issue, or was it a money issue, or was it both? The answer to your problems is money, and credit is money. So if you know how to leverage credit correctly, you can get money, create opportunities, and live the dream lifestyle that you deserve.